Hi guys, welcome back to Creative Frenzy. Okay, so today I want to show you how to use up some more of your 12 by 12 paper pads. This kind of project I've done before. I will show you another one besides this one, but this one was inspired by, well, obviously spring. So yeah, I'm going to show you in writing how I made this, and I will let you take a picture of, I wrote it all out in order to show you the different steps and everything and the supplies you need. But I just wanted to show you the project itself for now and explain to you how I put it together. So basically it is using up 12 by 12 paper, heavier cardstock, not the thin scrapbook paper, but the heavier paper. So a lot of the Michaels 12 by 12 scrapbook pads, they have the heavier cardstock, which is perfect for this project. And I have lots of old book pages that I really wanted to use up because I can't really use them in junk journals because they're so brittle and they'll just fall apart on you. So I thought this is the perfect kind of project for it. So as you can see, there's a lot going on. I will break it down step by step and I will show you how to do it. So basically what I'm using is the 12 by 12 for the lid, and then you cut the bottom, the one you're going to use for the bottom, you're going to cut it 11.5 by 11.5, okay? So it doesn't matter the color. If you're going to decoupage it, use your scrapbook paper that you really don't like, you can use that one, that's okay. And then hot glue gun is your best friend in this case because this is a bit of a thicker paper. Regular glue is going to take forever to dry, and then it's a nightmare. Trust me, hot glue gun is your best friend at this point. So, and then you just decoupage the outside of it. If you are going to decoupage the bottom of the sides of your lid, or not your lid, the bottom, the sides of your bottom. That sounds weird, doesn't it? Okay, if you're going to do other than just the bottom itself, make sure you go a little bit smaller so that when you add that extra paper, it's still going to fit in your lid, okay? But see how nicely that fits because it's a 1/2 inch difference. Because it's a thicker cardstock, you don't want to have to squish it too much. I've made boxes like these with the thinner paper, and you can sort of manipulate the boxes, but having the bottom 1/2 inch smaller makes a huge difference, okay? So you just cut a 1/2 inch off of two sides. So it's 11.5 by 11.5, okay? Perfect. For decoupage, you can do whatever you like with it. If you don't like all the color that you see through there, I mean, most of the time you're going to display it like this on the shelf. It won't really matter. But if it does bother you, by all means, paint it, do whatever you like. Okay? So now here we get to this. So here's another one I did. I just keep them kind of color coordinated so I know which one's the top and which one's the bottom. So I have a darker for the lid and the lighter for the bottom. So I know which ones are which. So I don't decoupage all of it, you know what I mean? Especially if you're making a whole bunch at the same time so you have them ready for different projects. So yeah, this is my little spring. I call it Serenade. It's got two little of those little mushroom birds in there. One's on a swing. Optional, you don't have to do that. And the other one's just sitting here. So, and I was at the dollar store the other day and I bought a bag of moss. So I was sort of inspired by this, and I don't know, with spring coming, or it is here rather, I decided to make this. And I had some coffee dyed cheesecloth, and I had all these paper roses, and I have all the butterflies. I thought it would be really cute in the end. So I don't know if you can see that. Okay. It's a simple enough project once you get the hang of it. It's a little bit more advanced. So on the bottom, what I've done is I put just hot glue gunned some plastic beads, just to make it cute for little feet. You can use whatever you like. You could use wooden blocks. You can paint wooden blocks and put them under there, whatever you feel like doing. And then I added some chain, some lace, some velvet, excuse me, ribbon. The swing is made of a dried rose stem. I thought it was appropriate. Same as the little signpost here. So it's a rose stem. I just glued it, and then to hide the glue, I just put some moss around it. And this is a popsicle stick. You know, those craft sticks you get at the dollar store. And then I just hot glued the little butterflies. Now up here is where you gather all the little stems from when you put them through the box. And here's where you can get creative. You can put charms, you can put beads, you can do whatever. I put some rose quartz on there. I thought it'd be really pretty. It just gives it a nice little movement. And here's the back. So I just sort of draped it, and then I used the little flowers from the dollar store. Here, hang on. These ones here, which is perfect because they come already on those little green stems, which is great because then you can just wrap it around the wire. Okay. The wire I just use the cheapest one available at the dollar store. This is 20 gauge. I use copper wire, so I use a lot of this when I'm making jewelry, if I want to make a sample of something and I'm not sure how much wire to use or if I'm going to like it. So instead of using your good stuff, use the old stuff first, and then you can sort of gauge how you want to, how much you need and things like that. But in this case, I have it all set out for you. I remembered everything and hopefully it'll be explained well enough in how I worded it that you'll be able to make this on your own if you choose to do so. Okay, so these little flowers are perfect. I just got these at the dollar store. You can do whatever colors you want. These would be great for Halloween too, if you wanted to do a little bit more like a little haunted house kind of thing. You can do this as a camping tent and use it as a scrapbook box kind of thing. Whatever you felt like doing. You know, there's so many options for this, and I will show you another one that I made earlier, but this is, you know, Serenade. Here's the inside. I haven't put anything in here yet. As you can see, it's a very violent color. It's very bright, but it doesn't really matter in this case because you're not going to see it. But it's kind of a nice pop of color when you take it apart. So this is the bottom. And here you can line it with something else if you want to. You know, it's open to your own interpretation. So I wanted to show you the bottom, but I want to do it gently and carefully. Okay, so that's sort of what you have to keep in mind. So I'm going to show it on paper, but this is where you are generous with the glue. And you do a little coil. Can you see that? And then you straighten it out, and then you put it through in order to keep it in place. You have to let it cool down completely or else you're going to pull it out. You don't want to do that. Okay? So that is the basics of this. And then with the excess wire, you will start building your cage. So you have a little framework for fabric to hang over. You can use organza, you can use lace, you can, you know, you can do whatever you feel like doing. This can be a very shabby chic kind of thing. You can do something a bit more modern, whatever you felt like doing. In this case, I went more shabby chic. But you could do charms, you could do flowers off of here. You can make all your own flowers and put them on there. That'd be really pretty too. The only thing I wish I had done was build the swing ahead of time. I had a really hard time with the swing. It was a last minute addition and I have a blister to prove it. So, I mean, it's a little blister, but you know, things you have to keep in mind. So you have to have an idea of what you want to do. Okay? So this is the full extent of this project. Now, okay, I wrote it out as best as I could. All right? So if you want to take a screenshot, be my guest. Okay, so I don't even know if it's going to allow me to, I can do it like this and then you could do a screenshot. But anyway, or you can slow down and do it. So for this project, you need one 12 by 12 piece of paper, heavier cardstock paper, okay? Thin paper, I think it would just be, it will collapse probably a little bit too much on you. You don't want that. You want it to be nice and sturdy. Yes, decoupaging is going to make it a little bit thicker, but remember, if you're not going to decoupage, you still want it to hold its weight, okay? So the top will be 12 by 12. The bottom will be 11.5 by 11.5. So if you are going to use a paper that you don't want to cover up, fine. Still do the 11.5 by 11.5 because it will give you lots of room to pull the box apart nicely without wrecking anything that you're going to do to it. A glue gun, again, works best for this because it holds nicer. And you want it to last because people are going to open it and close it, things like that. Or you are, right? So you need 7 pieces of copper wire, 20 gauge, 18 inches long. Like I said, I buy mine at the dollar store. You can decoupage the top and part of the bottom of these boxes with book pages. I love using the really old ones for this because they have a really nice color, right? I mean, that caramelly color. You can use whatever you like. If you have packing paper, like you get from, you know, Amazon or any packages, this would look really nice too. And then you can ink it, you can paint it, you can stain it, whatever you feel like doing. It would be really pretty. So you can do whatever you feel like. Okay, so now here you are going to, especially because you want to have an opening, okay? So you're not going to close it in all the way. You're going to have 7 pieces. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you're going to do it. This will be your front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, simple enough, right? If I'm over explaining, I'm sorry. You are going to make a little coil, and then you're going to straighten it out and you're going to feed it through. Just use a needle or your little pokey tool or whatever, you know, just something, and a piece of foam underneath. And then on the inside of your lid, I go like this on the inside, okay? So you can sort of gauge where you want it to go, okay? And then you will feed your wire through this way. And your front will be empty, so you can hold it this way, so you can do all of them. Don't glue anything down until you have them all in, okay? And then once you have them all in, you're going to be very generous with your glue, all right? And then you have to hang it up and let it cool completely. Otherwise, you can't manipulate the wires without it pushing through the lid again, okay? I hang mine on my camera arm up here. Sorry, I'm shaking the desk. So yeah, it's a perfect spot to hang it because there's enough clearance between the camera arm and my desk in order for it to hang nicely. And I just walk away from it, do something else for a bit, and then I come back and it'll be nice and cool. All right, so once this is all cooled down, oops, let's do this properly. Once it's all cooled down, it's going to look a little crazy. You're going to have all those wires sticking up, okay? Don't poke your eye out. Please be careful. If you're concerned that you're going to hurt yourself, wear safety glasses, okay? Don't scratch your regular glasses. Now, a candle jar I found works best for this. So I just have an old one, empty, right? I use them for all different things. But then you're going to set it on top of there. And then you have something for the wires to all wrap around, okay? And you're going to have a minimal amount of movement at this point, but this way you can still pull your jar out when you need to, okay? Once you have all those wires, okay, connected up at the top, you can take your jar out, and then with a 5-inch piece of wire, you wrap it around there as neatly or as crazy as you want. It depends on what you're going to, excuse me, have it look like in the end. So, you know, if you're going to have it exposed, do it neatly. If it doesn't really matter, it doesn't matter. So if you're not a jewelry artist or you've never done jewelry before, it's simple enough to just sort of wrap it around and call it a day. You could also use rope, string, tape, whatever. But you can use some yarn or string. You can use, or string. Yeah, string, yarn, whatever you feel like, okay? But you're going to have them connected at the top because this will give you the amount of space you need in order to be able to put something on the inside of it, okay? Now you're going to have all these long pieces hanging off. What you're going to do is you're going to cut off just enough, like this. You're going to have this much left over. It's about 3 inches left over. And the rest you're going to set aside because you're going to use it to make the connections between all the little Runnels. No, that's not the word. It doesn't matter. You get the idea. I'm sure some of you have made something like this. So if you look up on how to make bird cages, you know, you have the main structure and then you have all the extra little wires around it. So here, you know, so you have these ones and then you have these ones, right? That's basically what you're doing. I'm over explaining again. Sorry. Okay. So, now with the extra wire, you can make a cage all the way around in sections, or however you decide your final project should look like, okay? You can basically make anything you want. You can make a tent, fairy house, bird's nest, you can make a circus tent, you can have it hold jewelry, pictures, ephemera, junk journal, etc. You know, whatever you feel like. I hope you enjoy this project, and it'll be interesting to see if any of you make this. But let me show you again. So if you wanted to, okay, I'm just gonna go like this, and then I'm gonna move it up. So if you want to take a screenshot, or if you want to save it, whatever you feel like. But there you go. Okay. But that is it. So, yeah. You can decorate it to your heart's content. But I think this would make a really cute little Easter thing if you do a little bunny on the inside. You could make it a little fairy bed, you know. There's some, like a little canopy fairy bed kind of thing. And make a really cute little jewelry box. I don't know. The world is your oyster at this point. You can make it whatever you feel like. I still have lots of other projects that I want to do, but this is one of the very first ones, or my second one rather. And you know, I wanted to try something completely different. So yeah, that's Serenade. Now, having said that, I will show you another one that I made. It's not nearly as fancy, but it is finished because I've done the inside of it. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to put this somewhere where it's not going to fall down. All right. I think we got it. All right. So this is my other one. Art is Life. Art in a box is what I call it. So here's an example of not decoupage, but, you know, still gluing things on the outside, strengthening it and making it last a little bit longer. Okay. So I do try to, you know, sign my pieces just so that I know when I've made something, so that I'm in the habit of creating on a more regular basis. So this one, oh, see, I didn't do the 11.5 by 11.5 for this one, so it's a bit more snug, but I did do the inside of the box. So that's one of my pictures. Anyway, what I did was I cut up a whole bunch of watercolor paper. Here's the bottom. Okay. I cut up a whole bunch of watercolor paper into the shape or the size that will fit the box, the bottom, not the top. Okay. And then I created on both sides of each piece. Okay. I'm going to give you a little tour. So it's just playing with faces and, you know, doodling and drawing. Some I've used stamps on. Just trying to do different things. So I made my own stencils here and I want to try them out. This is another stamp, but it's watercolor, it's acrylics, and pastel crayons. Okay. And yeah, some of the colors are a little bit brighter than others. I was just doodling and then I cut out the doodles. Some are just little pieces that I've cut out from DigiKits. And these you can do in stages, which is really nice because you can just sort of play with different concepts and things like that. An art box like this can really sort of up your art game a little bit, you know. It gives you a feel for how things look together. You can do a color combination. You could use stickers. This one I used the sticker, a little panda sticker. This is my little faux graffiti word that I made. and just having fun with drawing body shapes, just doing different things, using stencils. Here I used a sticker. It's kind of cute, right? A little mason jar. This one I just doodled and I cut her out and I just put her on there. Others I used a stamp first, and then I used crayons, pastel crayons over top, just to do something a little bit different. And then I have some other ephemera pieces that I've used. Here's another one of those faux graffiti pieces. You know, and they don't all have to be major pieces of art. And if it's too busy in the background, use a white pastel crayon and just erase it. Erase it, you know what I mean. So it's just fun playing. And I've used a lot of ischemic writing in these because I wanted to give that extra little bit of interest, so, which is really nice. I used some die cuts. You know, this reminded me of outside, you know, like a view, things like that. They don't have to be major, gorgeous pieces of art, you know, it's just a question of playing, using different things, and just having fun. Another little doodle. It's just, you know, different ones. This is a Jane Davenport stamp. My little faux vellum flowers. I had some left over, so I figured I'd use them. And this is from a paper pad from the dollar store, but I like little toucans and little tropical things, so I thought it was appropriate. Here's just the heart I cut out from some foil paper, and this is the making your own kind of paper for collaging that I made. Another face that I created, actually. Here's another one from one of those little paper pads from the dollar. No, not this one. This one's from the Tropic line from Michael's. But I love birds, so I thought it was appropriate. And some of the colors sometimes, you know, it's a bit crazy, but that's half the fun. Another doodle. Just having fun with it and just sort of playing, just doing different things. Whoops. And more doodles. So yeah, it's a way to practice something without having an actual sketchbook. And this way you have done a project and you've used some 12 by 12 papers. You can do collage like this. You can do a study of birds. Maybe you like to draw a certain type of thing, and you know, you can do a whole study. You can do nature. You can do whatever you feel like. But I thought it'd be really cute. So there, yeah, that is it. So that is 2 boxes, one art box and one very fancy box, you know. But there you have it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you make any of these or try it or are interested in seeing more. I do have a bunch more in the wings, so to speak. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.